far fracking.
Tina Rothery. Okay, Tina Rothery. The question is that you live up in Lancashire, near Blackpool, is it? Okay. So you have first-hand information, you have first-hand experience.
Not just there's the first-hand experience of dealing with quadrilla. And that in itself is fearful because it causes you to no longer trust them. Because once you've been to a public meeting, you know it's hard to trust. But then we also have just spent the last 18 months researching continuously. And that's what you feel you're obliged to do. Because once you start looking into this, the layers upon layers of risk are intense. You start with the risk after the earthquakes that we had of thinking, oh my God, there's going to be seismic activity. And then you look into it and discover the ill health that's associated with this. There's a project in the States called the Marcellus Shale Project, and they have a list of the harmed. The list of the harmed is where people self-report the loss of livestock, death of livestock. There are fish kills, fish in ponds that just automatically die when there's fracking occurring because the shocks underground cause them to die. Sheep faint, it's silly things, lots of little things. But then there's the human health. And that's a huge aspect that is not being discovered. Excuse all the beeping, that's support. I love
supporting,
it.
Yeah,
it's what makes you smile.
Yeah.
And but with the water, the human health damage comes from the water, where if you bathe in it for longer than a minute and a half or so, you will get damage to your skin. People with skin rashes and really bad complaints. And then there's the damage also in the air, the methane. They have 12 to 40 foot high methane burn off. And when those flares go, not only is the sound at 150 decibels, like a jet engine, it's also the fact that that's then put the methane in the air. And it's not just that methane. You then have that methane mixed with the diesel fumes from all the vehicles. One frack of one well, and each well can be fracked up to like 12 times or so. One frack will require 500 vehicles, all diesel fume vehicles. And that interacts, there's a chemical reaction between diesel fumes and methane. And this is far worse than CO2, far worse. And when Quadrilla and the other companies like iGas and so on, the shale gas industry will tell you that shale gas burns more environmentally friendly than CO2, than coal, sorry. And it does burn better than coal for the environment. The process of extracting it is far more damaging to our environment, but they talk in bits. It's like when they say fracking will not cause fracking chemicals to reach your aquifer. That's almost, it could be true, because when they fracture the well, which is like 1.5 miles down, 2 miles along, and it fractures, the chances of that coming straight up to your aquifer are quite limited, particularly where we are. We're the Manchester Marl, which is an impermeable rock. So no, it's unlikely to come that way. But what they don't tell you is that 1 in 6 wellheads will fail in the first year, and you will get your chemical leakage there into your agricultural land, into your groundwater, and then into your aquifer. So but it's the phraseology. They say fracking, which is only one small part of the entire life cycle of a shale gas well. And then what happens when they abandon it? What happens when they are finished with that well? Well, they fill it up with cement. Oh, well, that's useful. That'll last a lifetime on the planet. Because when there are things under there like methane and other chemicals under pressure, gases and things down there, and naturally occurring radioactive material, eventually that will push and push and push against that cement, and it will find a way out. But by the time it does and it gets up into our agriculture and our water, where will the company be that dug that hole? This is an abandoned well. They have them all over the place in the States. They have areas they call sacrifice zones in the States, where it's been so badly damaged that you will not go back there. But you know, America is vast. They have prairie dogs and things in spaces. We have a densely populated country, and up to 65% of our country is available, according to the government, but not just shale gas extraction, but coal seam gasification. That's where they burn the coal seams.